Oh, give me one sec here. Almost forgot to set up my phone. Mm-mm-mm. All righty. Good morning. I'm ready. Sorry, guys. I almost forgot. My my phone set up for my videos. Make sure I hit record on here. Mute you guys here. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you all had a fantastic weekend. I turned 21 on Friday, and it was a great time. Thank you guys all for the birthday wishes. I know that there was a few guys that reached out, and if I didn't message back, I'm sorry. It was a little bit busy of a weekend, but thank you guys once again for the birthday wishes. I hope you guys all had a great weekend. This week is going to be filled with a lot of activities with some of the realtors that are in here. For Saturday, we have a gala, and then Friday we have the yacht party, which we'll discuss as well. But first, we're going to start with the market news, and then we'll jump into some cool stuff that I found interesting that I learned last week. So first off, Black Knight and CoreLogic both came out with their home price index numbers for December, and they both showed 5.5 and 5.6% appreciation for 2023. Now, for those of you that don't know, a normal market in terms of appreciation year over year historically has always been 3 to 5% appreciation. We know based off of actual sales that last year was not a normal market, and we still saw good appreciation because of the few homes for sale. So kind of everything that we are looking at, right? All of the data always points to the same thing, right? Supply and demand, pretty simple term for economically, right? In fact, NAR reported that there were 1 million homes available for sale at the end of December, but they include pending listings in that number always. The true amount of active listings of listings that were not under contract was at 666,000, which is less than half of what we would be needed to be able to stabilize the current market in terms of that supply and demand. Mortgage applications fell 1% for the previous week, and they're down 19% year over year. Refinances rose 12%, and they're up 1% year over year. Rates were at around 6.75%, which is roughly 0.6% higher than this time last year. However, those numbers are about 2 weeks behind at this point, and it doesn't account for what happened last week when we saw rates kind of increase because of the jobs reports that came out. So this week's number will probably be higher, probably put average rates at about 6.8 to 6.9% respectively. Last Monday, the average rate was at 7%. It got a little bit better, stabilized, so it'll probably be anywhere between 6.8 to 6.9% of what the current actual market rate is today. Mortgage delinquencies are on the rise for the second straight quarter. Now, I'm being a little bit facetious here because those numbers are rising, but they're not higher than the norm, which we've heard in the past, right? To end 2023, Q4 delinquencies on 1 to 4 unit properties rose to 3.88% on all loans. So basically, any residential mortgage, about 3.88% of those are actually in some sort of delinquency, which was up from Q3's 3.62%, but lower than the previous year's end at 3.96%. So we're still doing better than 2022, but for 2 straight quarters, those delinquencies have continued to rise, mostly because of the amount of debt that a lot of people are carrying. The high rates that they're carrying on their credit cards, on their car loans, stuff like that, which should, as the year kind of moves on and people start to refinance out of their car loans as the Fed funds rate comes down, as their APRs on their credit cards come down naturally, as the Fed funds rates lowers, it should be able to help out a little bit, but that's going to take some time before that actually happens. Mortgages delinquent 30 plus days is at 2.1%. 60 plus days is 0.73%, and 90 plus days delinquent is at 1.05%. FHA loans are the highest delinquencies. Historically, they always have been, but right now they're at a rate of 10.81%, which is a lot, but lower than 2021's number still. Loans that are actually in foreclosure decreased to 0.47%, down from 0.57% in the previous year. The Live Local Act. So for those of you guys that don't know, the Hometown Heroes program that opened up to all full-time employees in Florida was part of the Live Local Act that got signed last year. Okay. There's other things that got put into that Live Local Act, right? It wasn't just that. It wasn't just the Hometown Heroes money. Okay. One of the things that got actually signed into law as well at the time is developers actually really being put on the front line. They're able to bypass local zoning laws as long as they promise workforce housing, which is essentially affordable housing. So in the past, right, you would have to go, if you're a developer, you'd have to go to that the local zoning and planning department and talk to them about what your plans are and what you want to do in order to switch certain pieces of zoning. Well, basically, the Live Local Act essentially said that the local governments must okay multifamily and mixed-use residential developments in any area zoned for commercial, industrial, or mixed use, as long as at least 40% of the rental units will be affordable for at least 30 years. For mixed-use projects, at least 65% of the total square footage will have to be used for residential purposes. So, and no height restrictions, correct? No height restrictions, 65%. 65% of mixed use has to be put for residential, and 40% of the units must be affordable for at least 30 years. But yes, and no height restrictions if they're going into those specific places that are zoned commercial, industrial, or mixed use. The residential part of it is not part of the Live Local Act, but the developers looking to create more affordable housing are going to be able to do so by kind of going around local zoning laws, which will be huge for years to come. It's going to be interesting to see how Florida kind of shapes into that. So first off, I want to talk to you about some Highlands news. I just got off a sales meeting last week. Starting March 1st, we're doing soft pools. And we are working directly with Fannie Mae. And so those soft pools will work directly with DU. Okay. So if I pull a soft credit report, I can run the actual application. Okay. I can run DU to get the approve eligible and release an actual pre-approval based off of a soft pool. That's going to start March 1st. So in about 2-3 weeks. So I know that some of you guys ask me sometimes if we're able to do soft pools. The way that I've gone around it in the past is I basically just have the client send me a copy of their credit report, whether that be the Credit Karma or Experian, and let me know what those liabilities are line by line by line, what those minimum monthly payments are, so that I can do the pre-qualification manually. This is going to bypass all of that. They're going to be able to do their soft pools without a problem and run DU, where we don't have to pull credit pretty much until we're under contract or really close to closing, a week out from closing or stuff like that. There's pros and cons that come of this that I want you guys to be aware of here. Okay, if I do a soft pull, that means that I still technically have to pull credit at some point. So if that client doesn't do what they're supposed to do, okay, not like a hard credit pull now where it's good for 4 months and I don't have to worry about anything, right? As long as they are good for those 4 months and they've taken care of their stuff, they should be fine. On a soft pull, I'm going to have to pull credit at some point, right? Do a hard pull, even if it's right before closing. And so that client really needs to make sure that they are continuing to do the same things that are required of them. Because if they don't, and something changes or they take out credit or something like that, we will still have to re-pull credit, or we will still have to pull credit. And at that point, some stuff is going to come up. Their score may have decreased by that time, things like that. So that's kind of the downfall to it. The team is already aware. We are going to be speaking to clients about, making sure that they talk to us about every little thing that happens with their credit. If they're deciding to take something out or anything like that, because it's going to be very important that they make sure that nothing really changes. But The cool thing, like I mentioned, is it's going to work with DU, and we'll still also be able to do rescores with soft credit pulls too. So if the client's soft credit pool is at 600, 620, they're trying to get a Florida bond or something like that, and they need to be at the 640 mark, we'll be able to do a rescore as a soft pool as well. So pretty cool stuff coming March 1st. One other thing that I want to talk to you about before we jump into the AI tools, well, actually it kind of correlates. So we'll jump into AI tools first, and then we'll talk about it after. Let's see here. Okay, so last week YRD had the privilege of teaming up with YPN to do their annual RE Bar Camp, which is basically like a full day of breakout rooms. If you ever been to like a real estate conference or a conference of will you disclose to us whether DU is based on a soft pool? Yeah, yeah, of course. Of course. That's going to be something that's going to be discussed with everybody at the same time, so that way everybody's aware. That's a good question, Dr. Carla. Last week, YRD and YPN partnered up on their annual RE Bar Camp, where it's basically a day full of going to breakout rooms and learning from your peers, right? So the way that RE Bar Camp works is there's everybody or people volunteer for topics that they want to speak to other people about, how to get more listings, how to run your business as a business, different things, right? Talking about commercial real estate, how to get into it, all of that stuff. And there's different time slots. And so you put it on the board, and people that are within that RE Bar Camp decide which rooms they want to go to for those 30-minute time slots. Very, very cool concept. And so we partnered with them on that. And one of the breakout rooms that I was in was essentially AI tools for agents. Just because I wanted to kind of see what I could use for my business, what I have already been using, what I haven't been using, and what could help me. And so the speaker did send over a list of the ones that he spoke about and the ones that he's used and recommend. I'm not 100% on all of these, okay? But these are more so that I can tell you. You guys can write them down if they're interesting to you, and you guys could do some research. Some of them are going to be paid, some of them are free. It just depends. So the first thing is basically search tools, right? Almost like Google, right? But the AI version. So like the most famous one obviously is ChatGPT, right? That's a search tool that you're using to ask it specific questions. The one that I have used that I actually really enjoyed because it comes with references and it comes with sources is called Perplexity, Perplexity. And it's basically essentially like Google when you Google something and it comes out with a full list of like different websites and what they're talking about. This is pretty much very similar, except it just dumbs it down for you, makes it more appealing to figure out, what exactly you want to look for and what you want to click as you're asking it that specific question. So it's like ChatGPT, but with Google mixed together in one, because it'll have the sources up there for you as it's giving you the answer, so you can click and go directly to the site as well. The other one is actually it's called Pi, which is a personal AI assistant. It actually has a mobile app that you can download on your phone. And with that, it's literally your own assistant. So you can talk about, filling up your calendar about a specific thing. Let's say you're going somewhere and let's say you're going to downtown Miami for, what was the name? For the first one was Perplexity. Let me do something here. Perplexity. As I'm talking about them, I'll type them. So Pi AI is a personal AI assistant. Where basically, literally, if you're planning to go to downtown Miami to go to the museum or something like that, you can ask it, hey, what is a good brunch spot within the area, right? And it'll automatically give you that information. And it's a mobile app that you can download and ask it any questions that you want on your phone. Literally, as a personal assistant, you could use it as a journal, things like that. The other tools are going to be sales assistants. Okay, so these are things that are going to be helping you with sales. One of the ones that I'm definitely going to start using is called Productive.ai. Productive.ai. So a lot of times right now when you're calling people, right, or when you're speaking or when you're calling companies, I'm sorry, let's say you're calling companies and they'll say automatically, it's almost like it's engraved in us. I didn't even notice this, but it's true. This call is going to be recorded for training purposes or for, this basically the line that you hear, and it's on every single company that you call now is that line is recorded. And I bring this up because this is pretty much what productive.ai does is it records the phone call and then it's going to make notes, automatically add things to your calendar and stuff like that. But originally, when he was first saying what it was, right, before he mentioned the fact that when you call companies, it happens, I was thinking like, man, how can you get like their client's going to be okay with their calls being recorded? But thinking about it, we all are. It's just kind of normal to us now, right? And so having this downloaded to your phone, it works with AT&T, Verizon, Metro, Sprint, T-Mobile, pretty much all the main carriers, right? Where you call the client knows, hey, you call, hey, by the way, I just want to let you know this is going to be recorded for training purposes. I have a team and I want to make sure that they know how I speak to clients, whatever, right? But what it does is it basically will summarize your calls, make notes for you that you can add into your CRM, automatic tasks that get logged into your calendar. And then, of course, logging all your calls and stuff for you. So productive.ai also for your phone directly. Pretty cool. Something that I'm going to start using because it does help. If you're on the road, if you're driving, you can't really sit down and write something. This is probably going to be the perfect tool for you. The other one is called Crystal Knows. Crystal Knows. So Crystal Knows basically is it's a Chrome extension, so you can put it on your laptop or your desktop or anything like that. And what it does is it basically tells you how to speak to somebody, what to tell them, what not to say, and things like that. And the way that it kind of gets this person's information, their disc test and everything, is by searching all of the social platforms that they're on. So it'll basically say, this person is a D type, very direct. So use this type of language. Don't use this type of words that they don't like. All literally just picked up from the internet based off of that specific person. So it's a little bit weird, but it is also helpful for you if you're doing a buyer's consultation for the first time, just making sure that you wanna have the proper conversations that you're supposed to have with the specific buyer or with the specific seller, making sure that they know more, or that more or less a little bit about them based off of their online profiles without you doing all of the work yourself. I know it's crazy. I haven't tried it yet. I'll wait for one of you guys to tell me how it is because to me that's crazy. But maybe it works for you when you're trying to go doing these buyers or listing presentations. The other one is WooSender, basically converting more leads into sales. And what WooSender does, it basically gets you sending out for appointments on steroids. So let's say you guys use a caller or something like that, some sort of CRM for first time or for sale by owners or for expired listings or something like that, where you can kind of pull that data, upload it into WooSender, and it'll automatically do schedule appointments for you with these people, right? Based off of the scripts that you chose and things like that, that you can upload into WooSender. So at once you're sending 500, 1,000 appointments to be made between these specific leads that you have based off of this category, whatever that be, right?
Is that WOO?
WooSender. Just like that, yeah. Grammarly, right? Pretty self-explanatory what Grammarly is. It's something that the team uses now. Basically, just kind of helps you with making sure that your sentencing and your grammar is correct whenever you're sending out emails and things like that. And the cool thing about Grammarly is if you continue to use it for a while, it stores all that data for you, and you can input that data into ChatGPT. And the reason why is because ChatGPT came out with right now the free version is 3.5. Okay. ChatGPT has a 4.0 version that's a paid version, but within that paid version, you can create your own bot to do what you want, right? So for instance, if you want this bot to basically start to shape emails in the way that you speak, well, you need to be able to train it within the way that you speak. The only way you're going to be able to train it is by having that data. So after a while, using Grammarly, you have enough data to be able to put that into ChatGPT so that it can read how to basically maneuver conversations and send emails just as you would. And that way it takes away a lot of your day-to-day work, right? A lot of things when it comes to AI, I don't think AI will ever replace the human interaction that we have. It makes our jobs much easier and makes us much more efficient, which is what the start of the internet was from the beginning. And so kind of using these tools to make your job a little bit easier is really going to kind of help you elevate to do a little bit more and do other things, right? So definitely Grammarly and mixing that in with ChatGPT in the future will help you. Note taking. So one of the things which actually was supposed to use it for today and I forgot. Fathom, which is basically the companion for Zoom, actually the AI companion for Zoom, which is what we're using now. Where basically it'll summarize the whole meeting that you have on Zoom, and I'm going to actually start using it on consultations for sure, because that way, once the meeting is done, it'll summarize the whole meeting based off of what you spoke about. What are the things that you need to do? What are the things that the client needs to get done? And automatically get that. And so that way you could just send it into an email and make it much easier, or keep it as a note for your CRM based off the conversations that you have with them and things like that. So Fathom works with Zoom really well. The other one is Otter.ai, which is pretty similar. So Grammarly, Fathom, AI. I'll take it for Zoom. Otter AI. Note taking as well. Okay, also works in Zoom, but pretty similar. Just a different version of it is Otter AI to help you with the meetings that you're in, to be able to already take those notes in and either keep those notes for yourself if you're part of that meeting, or if you're the host of that meeting, to be able to send those notes out to the people that were a part of it, whether it be a buyer or a seller or anything like that. And you can also use, if I'm not mistaken, because I tried to use Otter in the past, you can have it on your phone. So if it's an in-person meeting, you can just basically have it record everything that you guys are talking about within that in-person meeting, and it'll still make notes of it as well. I know that Otter does that. I'm not too sure about when it comes to Fathom. Video production. So I actually use one of these already. You guys have probably seen the clips on my Instagram. But basically being able to get clips from more long form content. So this meeting that we're having right now, right? It's being recorded on my cell phone. After that, I don't send this out to somebody on Fiverr and pay them $100-something or whatever type of money to be able to cut it up, right? I send this directly to an AI that is built specifically to make short videos from long ones. And you can do that for YouTube videos. You can do that for anything, even if it's not your content, right? You find something on YouTube that you like that's inspiring for you, and you're listening to a TED Talk, and you can put it into these systems, and basically it'll cut it up for you, and you can just repurpose it as your own content, right? So the first one is video.ai, and it's spelled like that, video.ai. Okay, that's the first one. It's going to get you 10 clips from one long form content to be able to utilize. The one that I use is called Opus Clip, or Opus.ai. Same thing. Opus Clip and Opus AI are the same thing. That's the one that I use. And it gets you much more than 10 clips. I think it's like 15 or 20. And there is a free version that gives you a specific amount of hours for you to utilize. So you could use either or, video or Opus, whichever one you're more comfortable with. It automatically gets you the captions for your videos and everything. You literally upload a video, right? It's going to cut it up for you. And because I use Opus, not so much video, I can tell you what Opus does is it ranks it from 99 to all the way down. I haven't been this far down, but to 1. Realistically, the videos may be from 99 to 70 something. And the higher the number, the more engaging that video is. So if we're talking a full Monday Mortgage Minute here, right? If I upload this to Opus, one clip of it may be just me talking about mortgage delinquencies. And I promise you, it most of the time, 9 times out of 10, it'll start at when I'm talking about mortgage delinquencies and end when I'm done talking about mortgage delinquencies. It's amazing. So try it out, use it, and it's going to help you with doing that one long form content. You do it one time and it cuts it up for you. All right, so now real estate stuff. There are some things on your Miami RE dashboard that's going to be part of some of the stuff that we're talking about here as well. If I record it in horizontal, can it format it to vertical? Yes, it'll automatically format it to vertical, to be honest with you. The first thing, real estate related, is this thing called Real Cheeky. Real Cheeky. This is part of your Miami Association dashboard now, and what it is it's basically a transaction coordinator for you. It's an AI transaction coordinator, where essentially you upload the contract and it'll get you the time frames of everything and get you a list of basically when when the deposits due, when the loan approvals due, when the closing date is, everything. Get you a list. And you're able to, if you wanted to, send that out to everybody so everybody knows what their timeframes are, and it'll put calendar reminders for you too. Real Cheeky. Basically a transaction coordinator for you. It's an AI transaction coordinator, Maria. And it's part of your Miami dashboard. So you guys probably get a discount. The other one is called List Assist. Okay. List Assist has 2 different products in it. One of the products is basically helping you come up with a creative way to market your listing based off of captions or things that you want to talk about in there, or things that you want to kind of promote in there. Can you edit captions on video editing? Yes, you can. You can edit the time frame of the video, Dr. Carla. So if, like, for instance, for Opus, if it cuts off right before you want it to, or right after, you can mess with where it's at, or it's cut for you, and then you can also edit the captions, because sometimes it's not 100% accurate, right? It may pick up something. If you're doing an acronym, it may try to spell out the whole thing for you and get it incorrect. So you're able to edit the captions and everything on there. List Assist is basically the first part of it is giving you captions or different descriptive ways to be able to make your listings more attractable, essentially, based off of the caption that you're going to put to market it. The other part of this, or the other product, is a home search, an AI home search for your clients and your leads. So let's say you get a buyer that's already pre-approved or pre-qualified, or looking to get pre-approved or pre-qualified, right? You can send them List Assist, and they can basically say exactly what they're looking for. I'm looking for a 2-2 in Broward County, or I'm looking for a 4-bedroom single family home in Tamarack, whatever, right? And so what happens is that AI will basically get in there all that information and ask it questions. Are you looking for pool, no pool, different things like that, and then automatically start to send it listings based off of that too. And it'll be connected to, I believe, your listing. What is it called? The Miami Association allows you to basically get an IDX, I think it's called, where you have your own search, like on a website of yours or something like that. It's pretty much very similar. Okay, so that's List Assist. Nyla June, also part of your Miami dashboard, is a automated real estate description generator for your properties. So pretty similar to the List Assist version, except I believe List Assist may be more so for social media. Nyla June is going to be more so for your actual MLS description. Okay, that's on your Miami Association dashboard. High Note is basically, elevating. Oh, that's right. Thank you for continuing to remind me, because I'm going and I'm forgetting to add these here. Okay, so we stopped at Real Cheeky. So List Assist and Nyla June. List Assist, Nyla, June. And the next one is high note. Okay. This is basically elevating your presentations and your proposals. So if you have listing presentations that you've put together, high note will basically make it much nicer, probably add some things to it, take some things off, and things like that. I haven't done too much research on high note, but for the premise of what it's talking about, it's basically elevating your presentations and your proposals to your clients. So you can utilize that as well. RPR also has AI incorporated into it now. And RPR is part of your Miami dashboard as well. RPR, basically what it does, from the lady that was in, she's the lady from the actual board of Miami Association of Realtors. So what she said was, essentially what it's doing is, if you're looking for sellers or buyers within a specific area to, targeting maybe for sale by owners or expires or something like that, is it'll come up with a script for you to be able to have those conversations with them based off of the median sale price, or the median list price within that specific zip code that they're looking to list or buy in, and things like that. And so it'll make the script perfect to what that seller, or perfect to a seller or to a buyer based off of that. Like, get really specific into what the price points are within the neighborhoods and things like that. Okay, so lastly, design and social, basically things to kind of help you with templates, designing things, for social media, things of that nature. So the first thing is going to be thumbnail.ai. If you're looking to do a thumbnail for social media, for YouTube, this kind of helps you put one together. That way you don't have to pay somebody on Fiverr to do it. Headshot Pro will get you a professional headshot without you actually having to do an actual photo shoot. You can have a standard backdrop, upload your headshot picture to it, and it'll automatically put you in a professional setting, make it look like an actual headshot. Adobe also has Firefly. Then you have the mobile app ones, which is Lensa AI. It's a photo and video editor that you guys can use if you don't already. And that Lensa AI also is the one where people were doing their doing their headshot. These are websites or apps. Lensa AI is an app. Everything that has been that I know of that's an app, I've kind of said it. Everything else is more so sites that you're gonna have to use on your laptop and desktop. Lensa AI is an app. I know that some of these Miami Association stuff is not. The other app was it Productive.ai? Productive.ai is an app. Pi AI is an app as well. Grammarly is an app. Those are pretty much the ones that I know. But Lensa AI, that was when people were coming out a couple months ago with their headshots, but animated, essentially. That's what that is. But you could do also other things. It's gonna be it's a pretty simple Photoshop for your phone, realistically, is what Lensa AI is. Okay, so those are the tools. If you guys can, write them all down and look at them and see which ones work for you. There's some that I'm going to be using for sure that I liked, that I've already kind of started messing with. Like I mentioned, Opus Clip for me is something I've been using for a while. It's really, really good. Two more things and then we're done. It's already 10:37. The Apple Vision Pro, okay? List Assist is not in the MLS. The ones that are in the MLS are Nyla June and Real Cheeky. Real Cheeky and Nyla June are the two that are on the MLS. And then the other one that's on MLS that I didn't talk about because I don't know too much about it is ChocolateChips.ai. Those are the three that are on the MLS. Apple Vision Pro. The reason why I want to bring this up is because, of course, we'll translate over to real estate at some point, and it may take some time. Because if you are not really looking into what the future is going to look like, okay, VR was something that is not even close to what Apple is kind of putting out. Here, where you essentially are going to be part of the real world, but always have a screen in front of you, is realistically what this is on a large scale, right? Obviously, the capabilities, this is the first generation that comes out. I can promise you guys that this will be the worst Apple Vision Pro to ever come out. So is there something that you should be spending $3,000 on? Probably not. I probably will, just because I like a lot of tech like this. I'm still debating, but the point is that this is something that as it gets smaller, as the technology gets better, and it's now in 5 years just glasses, and you're walking around with your phone information in front of you, right? If you haven't done the research on the Apple Vision Pro, it tethers to your phone, it tethers to your MacBook, and there's different things that you're going to be able to do on it that are always going to be in front of you. So it's essentially AR, which is augmented reality. It's not VR. VR is something where you're in a completely different space, a completely different area, and it's virtual reality. Augmented reality is basically having real life in front of you, but also being able to see things and do things that other people are not able to see, right? That you're doing. So answering text messages, FaceTiming people with the Apple Vision Pro, looking at houses on Rocket Homes because their app is actually available on Apple Vision Pro right now, and going through a whole housing tour on your Apple Vision Pro, right? While you're not even at the actual property. Okay. Think of these things. Where Apple Vision Pro, or where the Apple Vision Pro is leading, is definitely going to be the future. Fortunately, unfortunately, whether we believe it or not, it's a completely different conversation. This is what has been promised technologically wise for the past like 15, 20 years. It's here now, and it will continue to just get better and better and better and better. All right. Augmented reality is going to be the way that people go, because, for instance, like right now, me putting on an Apple Vision Pro, I have 3 screens here. It doesn't make sense for me, right? But if I'm out and about, if I'm going somewhere, if I'm doing something and I need to answer, if I'm going to be answering emails, or obviously the old thing is pulling up your phone, right? That's the old way of doing things. This is going to be the new way of doing things, right? Where now you have these glasses on, and they're super tiny, and they're not as big and bulky as the Apple Vision Pro is. And now you're answering somebody's email, you're text messaging, or you're texting your friends back, different things like that. You guys really need to take a look at it, because this is where even real estate will be going in the future. I wasn't too high on VR. I'll send you a list. I wasn't too high on VR. I wasn't too high on anything, but I think that from what I've seen on this Apple Vision Pro, this is really something that it just makes it realistic to be able to be done in the future. Last thing, and I promise we're out of here. I'll send you guys over the list. If you can, please, because there's 34 people in here, just email me and I'll send you the full list of everything, of all the AI tools that we spoke about. It makes it much easier for me. The launch party is on Friday of this week. Remember to start getting your tickets as soon as possible if you're going to be there, because once the tickets run out, you will not be allowed in. The yacht does have a firm count for the amount of people that we can have on there, because it is commercial. Your tickets do come with open bar. If you guys are not aware of YRD's launch party, it is this Friday. You guys should have already been getting emails from YRD directly. If you guys are unaware of what YRD is, I've explained this to you guys, right? Young Realtors Division. It's basically the YPN for minorities, is realistically what it is, right? Miami YPN, National Association of Realtors, they have their division. The Young Realtors Division is pretty similar, except it's for people of color. So if you guys can, I'll see you guys at the launch party on Friday. And then if you're an elite agent, I'll definitely see you on Saturday as well during the gala. Should be a good time. But definitely get your tickets. We're gonna be celebrating my birthday for sure on Friday as well. And pretty much it. That's it. It's 10:42. It's a long one.
Awesome. Thanks,
Thank
Mike.
you.
Thank you guys. Have a good one.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike.